Here's the thing. I never wanted to come to the catacombs. I heard Antoine tell stories about crazy parties there when he was young, urban legends and myths and stuff. But when my teenage kids wanted to come, it got me thinking, is it safe? Is it creepy? What's all the hype about? And is it worth visiting? So today we're going to answer those questions. And in the end, I'll tell you how we got these discount tickets so we could pass the line and have an appointment to go in without waiting in all that line. As soon as you enter the facility, you begin the descent. The bones are stored 5 stories below the streets of Paris. There are 243 stairs here, 131 going down and 112 coming back up. It feels damp, and it's constantly about 57 degrees Fahrenheit. And as you can see from the video, it's dim but adequately lit.
So when they said there was a lot of walking in the catacomb, they weren't kidding. As you can see the floor, I don't know if you can tell, but it's, it's fairly paved, it's gravel and stuff. It's a little moist. But just put it that way, if you come here in high heels, you're gonna regret it.
What we're walking through is a network of quarried tunnels where they've excavated rocks to build houses, churches, and the walls around the city. All in all, there are about 200 miles of these tunnels under Paris. But today, we're only going to see about a little over more than 1 mile. You can see places where they caged off unstable areas. Knowing that and knowing that there's about 550,000 visitors that come here every year helps me feel safe. We've been walking through these stone tunnels for about 10 to 15 minutes, and we're about to enter the catacombs, where the remains of over 6 million bodies are relocated. Here, you're invited to not touch anything because we're entering the Ossuary, which actually is an English word as well, which means a place where they keep bones. Here's a fun fact. At the time these catacombs were made, Benjamin Franklin and John Adams were in France to sign the Treaty of Paris. The thing that made the U.S. a sovereign nation, all while these millions of bones were being relocated here.
It's actually really interesting because these skulls are actually put in the shape of a heart right there in the middle of thousands of bones. That's rather interesting. It is so overwhelming, the number of bones and the number of bodies here. 6 million bodies were relocated here, and at that time in 1777, there were only 600,000 people living in Paris. So imagine the volume of bodies here, and you can just feel the antiquity of it. And what's amazing is when they originally brought the bones into the catacombs, they just, the quarry holders, the quarry workers just, stacked them in to get them out of the way. And it wasn't until years later that archaeologists, paleontologists came and stacked the bones, very lovingly placed, and it feels so sacred. I don't know if you can tell in the darkness behind me, but the bones are stacked in a way that there are rows of femurs or something, and then there's a shape of an arch that's made out of skulls. And then in the center of that arch, there's like a little pocket that looks like a doorway. And so they were laid in a way that's very symbolic, very specific, or maybe even ritualistic, that honors the dead and the bodies that were relocated here. So here, there's a fountain, and then you can see people have thrown coins into the fountain down here. But when the paleontologists came in to lay the bones in order, they actually did studies about the diet, the longevity, what kind of lifestyle these people had over centuries. And they did tests even with goldfish. They had 4 goldfish that they put in here to see what would happen, living this far below ground. And they actually survived, but they became sterile and went blind. So I don't know if this is the pond where they kept the goldfish or not, but they did that. They studied underground crustaceans. They had growth in things with no light. So it was pretty interesting, the things that they studied down here. So there's this column that is encased in a huge barrel of bones, for lack of a better word. And the reason that they did that is because they would collapse because they were not stable. They were just taking rocks out. They weren't planning on them being tunnels that people walk through, hundreds of years later. One of the things that's really interesting about being here in the catacombs, I always thought of it as kind of gothic or creepy. I literally asked Antoine, do we need flashlights and stuff? Is it safe? And what I've learned is that the part with the bones is only 1% of the 200 miles that are underground.
So Colleen, the question is, are the catacombs worth visiting? What would you say?
Absolutely, yeah. I love how sacred it is. I love how it honors people. It's interesting. It's culture. It's history. It's anthropology. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I obviously, if you're claustrophobic or if you don't like bones, it's not the ideal place. It's certainly, but I don't think it's not romantic. I think it's you can come here as a couple and
we did.
Yeah, we did. It's an anniversary soon, so this is our anniversary.
We're celebrating with bones.
There you go. So I would recommend it. So a 1-hour visit. There's a lot of walking. Come within comfortable shoes and wear a little sweater, because even if it's hot outside, it's 14 degrees Celsius, so it's a little on the chilly side, but it's just, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it is well ventilated, clear path to walk, and it's fabulous. And it's culture, it's history. On y va.
So by the way, one of the things when you leave the catacombs is you don't exit where you entered. You actually have to walk a whole bunch of your way back to the main square where the metro station is. Basically, everything you walk down below, when you come out, well, yeah,
You're doing it again, over around.
You're in a different space. So to get to the catacombs, you have several options. Obviously, you can take an Uber, but if you want to take the metro, it's line 4, and it stops right behind me in that big building. There's also a station on the other side, and the catacomb entrance is right here behind me. So it's super easy to get to. You also have the RER B, the line B that gets here. So it's Charles de Gaulle, Gare du Nord, Saint-Michel, which is Notre Dame, and then Denfert-Rochereau, which is the name of the station, and in American or English is Denfert-Rochereau. That's how you would pronounce it. That's the station to get to the catacomb. Super easy to get to. To order your cheap tickets for the catacomb, you go to the Catacombs website, and you can first select the language that you want the website to be in. So you can choose English, Italian, Dutch, and so forth and so on. Once you're on the page where you can buy the ticket, just scroll down, you're gonna see 2 options. You're gonna see the options to buy the tickets in advance, up to 1 month in advance, or you can buy the tickets for the next day. If you go on the website at midnight, you're going to see that there are plenty of options that are open, and then you select the hour that you want to go to the catacomb, and you pay just €14 per person. So that's how you get cheap tickets to go to the catacombs. All right, so that does it for today. Next, I would recommend that you watch the best desserts in Paris. Please make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a thing. And until next time, au revoir.